Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today's video is my reading wrap-up for February. It was a good reading month, and I'm going to start with The Kindness of Strangers. I did a Read With Me, Walk With Me vlog on this book, so I will link that video, but really good book. I highly recommend it. There are some triggering topics, very much so, but this is a mother of two boys, 11 and 17. She's lost her husband about 2 years ago, and one of her close friends is another mom of a son that her youngest son is friends with. And she sees him walking to school one day, and so she pulls over and is like, I'll give you a ride, you're going to be late, let me help you. Something's a little bit off, and it triggers this whole event that, completely shakes up the community, both families at the school and everyone involved. And it's how all of these people, in their lives react to and process and how it affects them. But really good book, really good read. So this was the first one. And then this one is a book that I started to read with my daughter a while ago, a long time ago actually, and we put it down and picked up some other things that she was reading for school and that she wanted to read, and then we finally came back to it and finished it. Very sweet. This is Asian folklore of a little girl, Minli, with her parents. They work very hard and they have very little. And Minli and her dad are perfectly happy, content with their life, and the mother is unhappy. Sees how hard they work and how little they have, and it bothers her that they don't. Yeah. So the father at night will tell stories. Minli loves these stories. The mother sees it as filling her head with nonsense, and she wishes that her husband wouldn't do this. And so to change their fortune, and because she wants her mother to be happy, Minli goes off she goes off to find the old man of the moon. She thinks that she can find him and it will change their fortune. And so it becomes this very long adventure for her where she meets lots of friends and I wouldn't say enemies, but a lot of characters along the way, and it's just a beautiful story. Very, very sweet, great story. It was good to read with my daughter. She's 12, so it's a good age. The next one was The Handmaid's Tale, and this one I've had on my shelf for a while, and I really wanted to read it, but I also was afraid to pick it up. I watched The Handmaid's Tale a couple years ago. It was a Hulu special based on the book, and it was very dark, very depressing, very raw, and it was just a lot. And so I wasn't very eager to jump into that read. I was pleasantly surprised that the show was true to the storyline of the book, but I feel like the book gave you a glimmer of hope. I feel like there was a lot more kindness or humanity in here. The show was just really raw, and so what a scary idea. It was written, I think it was back in 1986. I think that's what it was. And the idea is that the birth rate's down, fertility, there's a lot of people, men and women, that are infertile. And so to counter this, they, basically scoop up all of the women that can have babies, can get pregnant, and they are the handmaids, and they are there. Their whole role is to get pregnant by the commanders, the higher ups, the powers that be. And so it's a horrific idea that, they would sort of take over, take control. It's that slippery slope of the government saying, oh, this will help everybody for the, for the greater good kind of thing. Yeah, it's a very scary concept. But I was pleasantly surprised because, like I said, I was expecting awful, and it wasn't as bad. It's still bad and it's still scary. But there was a lot more subtleties in it, which is so appropriate because when you're stripped of all of your freedoms, something very, very small can be given to you and it can become very, very precious. And so there was a lot of very small, subtle nuances of interactions. And so I liked it. It was a good book. I'm glad that I read it, and I'm glad that it was not as much as the show. And then I dropped it. And then this is just a fun little quick read. This is a romantasy. I have read others of Christine Feehan's, and so I was familiar with the characters. And so this book focuses on the character. Jakes is a Carpathian male, and he is he's in a bad way. And this is, while he is very much in a bad way, he finds his life mate, and their life mate is, basically what saves them from turning into a vampire, turning into, this dark, depressing, awful being that, just becomes evil or kills themselves or something like that. And so his life mate is Shay, and he finds her in a very unusual way. And they're not a vampire, but they do drink blood. That is how their sustenance, and they have to exchange blood and consummate the relationship in order for it to be like a solidified life mate. So this is their story, and so it's just fun. It's just a quick read. I enjoy these. And then we are slowly reading through, listening to the new husband. So that's always sort of in the background. We get to it here and there, not very often, but we do get to it. And so that is my reading for February. So it was good. I'm sticking with my intentions. I'm reading from my shelf. The Handmaid's Tale was the one off of there, and The Kindness of Strangers was my hardback. So doing that. And so, yeah, it was a good reading month. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll be reading.